Hi everyone, this is KnifeFighter22 here. I hope you guys are all well. And today we're going to be going through the Ruy Lopez Mortimer trap. So again, I was asked to do this by someone named Rayan to go through some of the traps of the Ruy Lopez. But I think it's a very common trap and something which a lot of people should be aware about. The nice thing about this trap is every time you're definitely going to win a minor piece in material. Okay, so anyone that's not familiar how the Ruy Lopez starts out, e4, e5, knight f3, knight c6, and bishop to b5, the most common move in the position. So this trap is played from the black perspective, so this is one way you can defend against it if you are the black player. So instead of playing the typical a6, you're going to play the second most common move, knight up to f6. This is called the Berlin defense. And a very common move that your opponent will play here. In my video I talked about how you just meant a castle here, but if your opponent doesn't do that, the second most common move is to go ahead and play pawn up to d3. And if you can do this, you can now set the trap for your opponent. So what you want to do now is you want to play knight back to e7. This very odd move, knight back to e7. And what you notice about this is you put the knight in a very weird position, not controlling the center. If you look at it from the white perspective, they have quite a comfortable position. What you'll notice from the white perspective is this pawn can easily be taken. But if the white player actually goes ahead and takes this pawn, they have fallen for the Ruy Lopez Mortimer trap. What you want to do in this position is you want to play pawn up to c6. What you'll notice is the bishop is being attacked. In addition, this queen is come out ready to deliver this check. So, for example, your opponent plays the bishop back to a4, check, forking the king and the bishop. The opponent's got to save the king, obviously, and the bishop falls. Alternatively, you may be thinking, oh, if it goes to c4, it will be defended. Bishop goes back to c4, check. Again, the check has to be blocked. This time, you can go ahead and take that knight. Also, what you'll notice in this position, the queen is out in the center. There's also a nice attack on this b2 pawn. For example, if just a castle here, then check. And it's going to be very annoying for your opponent here. There is one way that the white player can counteract this. Sorry, it takes the pawn, c6. There is one way that they might counteract it. What is seen as a better move and an actual counter trap for the trap. They'll play their knight back to c4, and what you'll notice is you can't go ahead and take the bishop. If you go ahead and take the bishop right away, then there's actually a checkmate right here. Knight takes d6 is mate. The king is surrounded by its own pieces. It can't move. That knight can't be taken. It's a checkmate. What you want to do, if you see knight c4, don't worry. Just play a move like d6, which will completely, free up the king and defend this square. The queen is now defending d6, at which point the bishop has to retreat, this time because the knight is on c4. The only square the bishop can go to is a4, and now you can deliver a nice little pawn fork here. So for example, knight goes back to d2, you win the bishop and you're up a piece. So yeah, that is the Ruy Lopez Mortimer trap for you. Just a quick recap, it's the key move knight e7, and if your opponent goes ahead and takes that pawn. But yeah, it's a very good trap. I wouldn't recommend playing it in proper standard matches, but if you go on chess.com, try some 5-minute blitz, and if ever you see this d3 move in the Ruy Lopez, then go ahead and try this. Many people will fall for it. I was having a look at this position in the Grandmaster database after knight takes e5. Obviously, not many Grandmasters played it, but every single one of the games was a loss. Okay, so thanks so much for watching the video, everybody. I've been KnifeFighter22. I wish you good luck playing chess, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye, everyone.